I want to welcome to the show tonight, podcast host of the Touring the AFC South, my man Mike Patton. What's up, Mike?
What's going on? How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing? How you doing this evening?
Man, doing great, man. Another day living, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Let's get right to it, Mike. You know I'm a big time Packers fan. So we got the Tennessee Titans Thursday night in Green Bay. The Titans are 6-3 on the season. They are fresh off a win over the Denver Broncos. They are in Green Bay against the 4-6 Green Bay Packers. So talk about your expectations for this matchup between the Titans and the Packers, Mike.
Well, if it's any indication of what the last game the Packers had and the whole season for the Tennessee Titans, it's going to be a lot of running the football. If that's going to be the case, it's going to be a pretty quick game. It's not going to be on Thursday long for people who don't like Thursday night football. So I expect a lot of running the football. It just depends on which quarterback can make a play, and Aaron Rodgers can make plays. We know Ryan Tannehill can make plays. He can make plays for the other team as well.
Yeah, for sure. Now, look at the performance last week for the Tennessee Titans. They beat the Denver Broncos 17-10. At the half, the Titans were trailing the Broncos 10-7. And in the second half, Tannehill got it going. Mike, he got it going. He had a touchdown pass to Westbrook. They were able to kick a field goal as well in the fourth quarter. But we know the strength of the Tennessee Titans is Derrick Henry. So how important is it in this matchup against Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau? How important is it for Ryan Tannehill to get into a rhythm early so the Titans can have an opportunity to possibly pull off the upset?
I don't know if I necessarily call it an upset when you come to the Titans and the Packers, but I totally get it in terms of the ambiance of Lambeau Field. It's important for him to catch a rhythm up front, top in the game, because the more he catches the rhythm, the more it's going to be harder for teams to continue to stack the box against Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Now, Derrick Henry, the one thing they've done a little bit more this year, which is kind of atypical of them, is they've got him the ball in the passing game too, like short passing game with screens, things like that. And he's actually caught the ball in the backfield more than he has in his entire career this year. So the passing game definitely is going to be needed. But I will say this, Ty Downing has got to be more imaginative getting his wide receivers open too, because they have the least separation of any receivers in the NFL. So that's going to be huge in terms of, being effective in the passing game.
Yeah, and the reason why I said it will be an upset, Mike, is because Vegas already has the odds out for this game, and my beloved Packers are the favorite. I know the Titans have a better record, Mike, but the Packers are actually favored in this game. But again, I know how dynamic that rushing attack is with Derrick Henry. But when it comes to their receivers, they got Robert Woods, they got Cody Hollister, they got Nick Westbrook. Westbrook had a touchdown reception in the Week 10.
Yeah, two.
Yeah. Two touchdown catches in the Week 10 win over the Denver Broncos. Who do you believe is Tannehill's go-to receiver in clutch moments for the Titans? Is it Westbrook or is it Robert Woods, the veteran?
It's none of them. It's whoever is open, because it's been Austin Hooper, it's been Chig Okonkwo, it's been any of them. I mean, if you saw that game on Sunday, Chig Okonkwo had a big 41-yard catch and run when he caught it across the middle and it ran through a hit. He kept going. Now, if I'm the Titans, I get that guy the ball more because he's been dynamic 2 weeks in a row against Kansas City and against the Denver Broncos. But, to answer your question, no, there's not one guy he's looking for. He's going to throw it to the open guy. He said this numerous times himself, actually. He's just going to get it to the open guy.
Now, the Titans are led by defensive coordinator Shane Bowen, and you look at their statistics for the year, they give up 380 total yards per game. That's ranked 25th, but they're good against the run, Mike. They only give up 85 rushing yards per game, but against the pass, they struggle. They give up 272 passing yards per game. Who do you believe is the X factor for this Titans defense?
Everyone talks about Jeffrey Simmons, and I know he's a big deal. Big Jeff is what they call him down here. But the thing is, Denico Autry is the guy. Denico Autry is the guy, and he always will be the other guy that nobody ever talks about. He is the guy that actually has been even more effective this year. So that is going to be the X factor, because the thing is, with the Titans and in the pass game, they're not exactly great in the back end. They are at safety with Kevin Byard, but after Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker may not play either, which he's a guy that guards tight ends very well. But other than that, they're a bunch of young guys, so they're not I would say very equipped in terms of that. So the front four is going to have to be critical, and Danico Autry is definitely a leader up front.
Honestly, looking at this matchup, Mike, this is a matchup between two teams who have very unproven receiving cores. So I agree. I think it's going to come down to which team can run the football, because the Packers showed that they can run the football with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon in their Week 10 win over the Dallas Cowboys Sunday. So I agree with you, man. It's going to come down to which team can establish a running game. We know Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs in the NFL, if not the best. And then Aaron Jones, he's elusive. A.J. Dillon is a power running back. Do you believe this game is just going to ultimately come down to which offense can establish an elite rushing attack?
Definitely, it's going to come down to that. And it's also going to come down to which tight ends show up, too, in my opinion. Because, I think the tight ends will be the guys that actually get open as opposed to the actual wide receivers more.
So you got the tight ends being X factors. Okay. Now, when you look at the AFC, I hear people talking about the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. I hear people talking about Tua Tagovailoa and the Miami Dolphins. I hear people talk about Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, even Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. No one's talking about Derrick Henry and the Tennessee Titans. Do you believe that Mike Vrabel and his football team, do you believe that they kind of like the fact that they are the underdogs and under the radar in the AFC?
I mean, they enjoy it because, even last year, no one believed in them. So they they relish in this role. They've always relished in this role as the Titans when they're playing good. Looking at them, do I think they're a top team in the AFC? Probably not. But then again, this is the same team that a couple years ago or a few years ago when Ryan Tannehill just got thrust into the starting lineup over Marcus Mariota, made a run to the AFC title game that no one ever saw coming. And this team has kind of, reminds me of that team, actually, when you look at them.
Yeah, for sure. I think they are a lot, Mike, to win the AFC South. We know the Colts.
Oh, they are, definitely.
Yeah, they'll win the AFC South, so they'll be a playoff team. The Colts are a mess. I like Jeff Saturday. I like the fact that he won his first game, albeit against the Raiders. They are a mess too. But I think they're going to win the AFC South. It's just going to come down to, can they compete against those other elite teams in the AFC, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Bills, the Ravens. I love the rushing attack with Derrick Henry, but it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down to Ryan Tannehill, because these other quarterbacks in the AFC, Mike, you got Tagovailoa. He's having an MVP season. You got Patrick Mahomes. He has an MVP on his resume. He's having an MVP season. They got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert. There's so many quarterbacks that I would take over Ryan Tannehill. But I think in order for the Titans to get where they want to get to, it's going to come down to Tannehill. Do you agree with that?
Eventually, he's going to have to make some plays. I totally agree there. But, this team is kind of atypical of where football is today. Football is more of a game that, throws it in the air, it gets down the field.
Yeah.
They're a throwback team, and they're comfortable in their own skin being a throwback team. But I do agree that Ryan Tannehill is going to have to make some plays for them to win and win big.
I definitely agree. So they are 6-3 right now. They're first in the AFC South. What do you have their record being at the end of the season?
Well, actually, before the season, I had them winning 10 games. I had them at 10-7. So I'm going to stick with my 10-7 prediction for right now. They could go 11-6, but I'll stick with the 10-7 prediction.
They play in the AFC West this year, correct?
Right. And they've they've played the Chiefs already. They played the Broncos. They played the Raiders, and now they only have left the Chargers.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I've seen it. And I think they're also playing the NFC East.
They have the Cowboys and the Eagles left.
Yep.
And then they also have the Bengals to left in the season too.
Yeah, I'm here in Cincinnati, so a lot of Bengal fans, they're looking at that game, Mike, and they are circling that game as a win for the Bengals. They just pretty much saying, "Oh, we're more talented than the Titans are. We beat the Titans last year in the playoffs. We're going to get the Titans."
It's always fun. The thing is, what everyone forgets is the Titans relish in the role where no one thinks they can win. I mean, you saw how well they played in terms of staying in the game with the Kansas City Chiefs. They almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs.
They did.
But the thing is, they play, and when those type of games where no one believes they can win, they always come out and play, and they, a lot of times often win those games.
Mike Patton is joining Wise Guys tonight. He is the host touring the AFC South podcast. Mike, before I let you go, give me a prediction in a score. What you got in this matchup? Packers Titans at Lambeau.
All right, I've got 20-17. I've got the Titans winning 20-17 or 24-20, somewhere in that range. Probably a 3 or 4 point spread.
I hope you're wrong, Mike. I respect your opinion, man. Go, let everybody know where they can find you.
Twitter at Mike Patton 82. That's MikePatton 82. And of course, you can find me on Touring the AFC South on all your listening platforms.
He's Mike Patton, the host of the Touring the AFC South podcast. I appreciate you joining me tonight, Mike. I appreciate you coming in and talking some football with me. I'm going to definitely bring you on later on in the season before we get to the playoffs and talk some more football with you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just let me know.